Today, we are going to take a closer look at the attack on Pearl Harbor, one of the most important military events of the 20th century, which directly pulled the United States into World War II. After World War I, Japan was considered one of the victorious powers and was developing at a rapid pace. However, major economic and social upheavals around the world, along with serious internal problems, pushed the country into a deep crisis. A severe lack of natural resources, industrial raw materials, and consumer markets gradually led Japan to choose the path of militarization and fascism within its state apparatus. Japanese leaders believed that only by expanding their territory and seizing resources from neighboring countries could they break out of this deadlock. This expansionist process continued when Japan joined the Axis powers and became deeply involved in World War II. Japan's aggressive policies increasingly alarmed the United States. In response, the United States imposed economic sanctions, especially an oil embargo, cutting off the lifeblood of Japan's industry, which depended heavily on oil imports from America. As a result, tensions between the United States and Japan escalated rapidly and moved closer to a breaking point. In this situation, Japan's military leadership decided they had to strike first to gain the initiative. The United States also prepared for the possibility of conflict by stationing the Pacific Fleet in Hawaii and building a forward defensive line with strong forces in the Philippines. However, Japan was urgently searching for oil and rubber in Southeast Asia, especially in the regions of Malaysia and the Dutch East Indies, and they did not want American interference in these plans. To eliminate this threat, Japan planned a preemptive strike against the United States Pacific Fleet at Hawaii. American leaders believed Japan might attack the Philippines to cut off oil supply routes, but they did not expect the main target to be Pearl Harbor. This critical misjudgment created the conditions for an unprecedented surprise attack. On the morning of Sunday, December 7, 1941, President Franklin D. Roosevelt later called it a date which will live in infamy. The Japanese fleet deployed an attack force consisting of 6 aircraft carriers and about 350 aircraft of various types, escorted by battleships, cruisers, destroyers, submarines, transport ships, and supply vessels. Japan's main air force included 350 aircraft, among them 78 Mitsubishi A6M0 fighters, 129 Aichi D-3A dive bombers, and 143 Nakajima B-5N torpedo bombers. These aircraft were capable of carrying bombs weighing up to about 1,760 pounds, which is roughly 800 kilograms, or torpedoes powerful enough to cause severe damage to enemy warships. Facing them was the United States Pacific Fleet, considered the most powerful naval force in the world at that time. The fleet included about 170 vessels of all types, including 8 battleships, more than 30 destroyers, many cruisers and submarines, along with roughly 43,000 personnel, 5 airfields, and nearly 400 military aircraft stationed across the Hawaiian Islands. With such overwhelming strength, Americans believed Pearl Harbor was a secure and well-protected target. On November 26, 1941, the Japanese fleet departed from northern Japan and secretly advanced toward northwest Hawaii. Throughout the journey, the fleet did not encounter a single enemy ship. In the early hours of December 7th, Japanese forces shifted into combat formation. Reconnaissance aircraft took off at 5:30 in the morning to assess the situation over Hawaii. At exactly 6 o'clock in the morning, the first wave of the attack was prepared, consisting of 189 aircraft divided into 3 groups. The first group was tasked with destroying battleships and aircraft carriers. The second group attacked air bases. The third group was responsible for gaining air superiority and strafing American aircraft on the ground. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss more history videos. Thank you all so much for the support you have shown to the channel.